Hi there, it's Mia Redrick here, the mom strategist, and I am so excited. I am so excited about this live tonight because tonight I'm going to teach very simply, very simply, you get what you negotiate. And I can tell you for sure that as a result of you being here tonight, this is going to be a game changer for many of you. It's going to support you in elevating how you show up for yourself. I'm Mia Redrick. I'm the mom strategist, business and life coach. I got started in my company over 17 years ago. I simply made the decision to go to work as myself. And I wanted to figure out how to take my background as a corporate trainer and my systems in motherhood. And I wanted to know how to package my knowledge into a high ticket offering, but I didn't know how to do that. I had no idea how to do that. So I went to seek some help. And my very first stop, I went to a small business resource center in my town. And the director of that small business resource center told me that my idea, in essence, mom coaching, didn't make any sense, that no one would ever pay me to do what I've done today. Now, as you listen to this, I want you to think about those times when you've shared your big out of the box idea with someone who didn't have a big out of the box idea for you. All right. And so I remember how I felt. Like I thought that I had this really great idea, and this person said, this doesn't make any sense. They discounted me. He put me in the corner with all of these binders and said, look through those binders. Why don't you just keep working as a corporate trainer? You can generate a great income doing that. But I knew there was something bigger for me, and I kept looking for someone to help me. And I ended up going to a live event, physical live event, and it changed my life. It was the first time I ever saw someone doing her way what I wanted to do my way. Does that make sense? And I decided to hire my coach. I've worked with her for 17 years, and her model really changed my life. And I learned for the first time that I could take my knowledge, hi Candy, my background, my gifts, my expertise, my talent, and that I could package it to serve the world. Tonight, what I'm going to talk about is that you get what you negotiate. And I know that this is going to shake your shoulders, but I'm going to say this as a disclaimer. If your feelings get hurt easily, this is not going to be the training for you. There are many trainings that I do here on this page or on my Facebook page or on my YouTube page channel, and that you could go to listen to. But tonight I'm going to shake your shoulders a little bit. And the reason I'm going to do it is to help you understand how to elevate how you're showing up for yourself. See, as a result of being able to grow my business, right, stand in my purpose and monetize my gifts, I've had the opportunity to coach thousands of women literally all around the world, doing what I absolutely love to do from the comfort of my home mostly. That was a dream for me. I didn't know if there was a possibility that that could happen. But as a result of growing this business, I've been able to be the kind of mom I wanted to be, and I've been able to be the kind of wife that I needed to be. And let me explain. My husband developed kidney disease about 11 years ago and went on dialysis, and it was a really scary time for us. And during that time, one of the things that I was so grateful for was that I had built a business when I didn't need it, such that when I did need it, I could stand in the gap for my family. So my husband got a kidney transplant about 7 years ago, was doing amazingly well. But I love the fact that I could hire a private physician for my husband so he could get an elevated level of care. Okay. I love the fact that he didn't have to focus on getting back to work. He could focus on healing, which is what was most important. And I love the fact that we didn't skip a beat as a family. And I'm talking to those of you. I talk to a lot of women, a lot of moms who follow me. You know how I feel about this. Not being codependent on a man for income, and not being codependent on your job for income, because you have the capacity with your gifts and your talents and your skill, Lori, to really, and Maria, to stand in your own value and to monetize your knowledge at the highest level. And that's what I support my clients with. Candy, you're a dialysis nurse, so you know what I'm talking about, right? He went 3 times a week for many years, for 5 years. For about 3 or 4 years, actually, because he also did peritoneal dialysis, which is when you are able to do dialysis from your home, right? Or wherever you are, right? We could travel with it. So we had some options available to us, but he did hemodialysis for many years. So you understand what I'm talking about here, Candy. I'm so grateful that you're here, okay? So when I come here, okay, I always like to share with you guys from my heart. okay, what I know will work and support you. And it's just based on the advice of what I followed for myself over the years, and take what fits, and what doesn't fit, don't use it. But I know this, that I've been able to make a difference in the life of my family. My husband and I collectively have invested over $1 million in elementary, middle, and high school for our kids. We've given our kids a world-class education. And I know that a lot of the women that follow me, one of the reasons you follow me is because you want to give your kids an amazing start. And education is one of the ways that you prefer to do that. I get it. All right. And I want you to know that what you know is very valuable, properly packaged. All right. And we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. Properly packaged. All right. So Sue, really, really important. Okay. So Lori writes, I'm a single mom with one child out of college and another going in this year. You got to figure this out. And you're so pretty. So you can figure this out, Lori. And I am excited for you. And Rashima says, my mother did dialysis 3 days a week as well. So you understand what I'm talking about. And it's the reason why I don't come on these lives and talk about dominating people, or talk about flash cash strategies, which would include, like somebody renting a plane and saying, look, I fly private. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you want to build something that's solid. When you get free, you want to stay free. You want to be able to take your ideas and leverage them, package them, so you can make a difference in the things that matter to you the most, that are real. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Also, just real quick, somebody had told me from my live last week that they had posted a comment. And when they posted a comment, somebody inboxed them right away with a tip, a strategy, a tool, marketing to them. And I just want you to know that's not us, right? Yeah, I think she knew that for sure. But that there are always people, when they see great things, that want to duplicate those great things. So you just be discerning for yourself as to whether or not you're interested in, having a real conversation with me or somebody on my team, or someone who's watching what someone else is doing, elevating their platform, and that's trying to be tricky about that. All right. I'm always 100% around that. Do you like my hair? Okay. Well, it's a little gray right now, and I'm trying to debate, Lori, what I'm going to do here. Okay. I'm debating what I'm going to do. Okay. Today, what I'm going to talk about is that you get what you negotiate, and it's going to be a really tough live. Now, I suggest that if there's someone that that is in business, or who wants to take their knowledge, their author, their speaker, their coach, their consultant, their trainer, they want to do an online education, and they want to do it at a high level. They want to sell what they do as a high ticket offering. They don't know how to do that. Invite them to this live. And I promise you, they will thank you. And it might be, if you're just meeting me, you might say, I don't know if I want to do that yet. And so you might watch this whole thing and then decide to share it with your friends, because I believe this, that giants want to elevate the giants in their lives. My clients call themselves giants, and I only work with giants because I believe you have to be giant to be able to receive a great and amazing idea. Okay. So if you're ready, I am ready. If you're ready, I want you to write here, I'm ready. Okay. I want you to literally write, I'm ready. And then I'll get started. I'm going to talk about you get what you negotiate. And I've got a few categories tonight that I know is really going to support you in elevating how you look at your life moving forward. Okay. It was interesting. I was working out yesterday, and Maria's ready, right? I was working out yesterday. And in working out, I decided I would watch this documentary. And the documentary was, I'm still in the midst of it. It's called The Last Dance. And it's a documentary featuring the Michael Jordan story. So I don't know how many of you guys have seen this story, but I'm on the part where they're talking about Scottie Pippen and specifically his contract. Okay. And so one of the things that we know about Scottie Pippen is that he's such a brilliant and amazing athlete. He contributed exceptional value to the Chicago Bulls team. However, because he signed a 7-year deal when he got started for $23 million. Okay. Now hear me. Okay. He signed a 7-year deal for $23 million. And because of it, he capped his income. And that's where I got the idea to talk to you tonight about you get what you negotiate. Okay. So that's my come from for those of you who haven't seen that documentary. I'm only into the second part of the series. It's pretty amazing for me. I'm not a big TV watcher at all, and many of you guys know this. However, it's really, really quiet. It's added value to me, and I think it'll add value to you. Okay, so Candy says she is ready, and Robbie is ready, and Rashima is ready. Awesome. Maria, you're ready. She says, great documentary. And Lori says, loved that documentary. It's very insightful. So tonight, I wanted to make that my come from because I thought that was super important. Tiffany's ready. And Maria says, she's ready. Okay, I love that. Okay, so let's just jump in. And tonight I'm going to talk about you get what you negotiate. And it's flat true. And so when I saw that Scottie Pippen had negotiated a deal for his 7-year deal for $23 million, it's very easy to hear that and say, wow, $23 million is a lot of money, okay? But I want you to lean in and I want you to think differently and I want you to elevate the way that you think about this. So imagine if Scottie Pippen did a 2-year deal, okay, versus a 7-year deal. And because the Bulls were a team that eventually had earned 5 championships, back to back, and he was a significant part of that, and he would have been up for contract negotiations, he would have been able likely to make 20 million in a year or 30 million in a year, or negotiate another 3 or 4 year deal for 60 million or maybe even 100 million. But because he didn't bet on himself, okay, he negotiated a bad deal for himself, despite being amazing and talented and incredible. So I thought, let me share how that could translate to maybe how you're showing up for yourself. So you get what you negotiate. Number one, as it relates to your value, write this down, okay? As it relates to your value, I see this all the time. So I coach women who are smart, they're sharp, they believe in self-investment, they're action takers, they're go-getters, they're go-givers. They're giants in every way in their life, in their careers. They're usually at the top of the game in terms of what they know how to do. But a lot of times what they don't know how to do, now lean into this, is they don't know how to value their gifts outside of the workplace, because they've never, ever in any marketplace in business, ever had to stand in their own value. Hear me on this. So what it looks like is that they take 20 years of experience, they take their expertise, all of their education, and they undersell, they undervalue what it is that they're doing. They package their knowledge into courses that are $27, $97, $150, per client, right? For a set period of time, because they don't truly understand what their value is. See, you get what you negotiate. There are many people out here, and maybe you're listening right now and you're like, that's me, okay? You're like, I deliver amazing service to clients and people get tremendous value. They're always saying thank you. Or maybe you're that person, you're constantly on free. You're the person on free. You're not even monetizing at the lowest level. You're not monetizing at all because you haven't figured out how to flip the script as it relates to your own value. Or maybe you're this person that you keep trading time for dollars because you don't understand that you're bigger than that your value is bigger than that. I had my clients do an exercise, everybody in my community last week, and I had every single person calculate what their value was. Like, how could they determine what they should do? See, when you don't know what your value is, let me go deeper. So if you want me to go deeper, right, go deeper, okay? If you want me to go deeper, just write, go deeper. If you don't know what your value is, you fall into the trap of doing things that are under your value, okay? And so I had all of my clients do an exercise so that they came to understand what the value of their time is. So it became crystal clear for them the things that they should be doing in their business versus the things that they should not be doing in their businesses. Does this make sense? See, there's some things in my business I'm never going to do, because if I look at that, Candy says, go deeper. If I look at Candy, it's just you and I, Just you and I, okay? If I look at what it is that I do and having the ability to earn at the highest level, let's say, for example, I'm gonna make it up, but let's say, Candy, you and your brilliant and amazing self, I'll just put you here, right? Go deeper, right? There she is, beautiful Candy, right? So let's say that Candy, to work with Candy and the kind of results and transformation that she provides, it's $2,000 an hour. No less than that, right? Hey, Sheila, there's a giant for you. Okay. Let's say, for example, Candy, that's your value. But imagine if knowing that that's your value, that every time you are able to support someone, you're able to help someone elevate their life, and it's worth $2,000 or more. Then why would Candy be up doing a website at night? Why would Candy be the person handling her emails, processing her accounts payables? Why would Candy be doing things that are below her value? I'm just breaking this down for you right tonight, because one of the things that is super important is the reason why most entrepreneurs never get to earn what they should be earning is because they don't understand the value of what it is that they do. Okay. Lori writes, dive in deep and go deeper, right? I love that. And Sheila Fraser Bruno, who is an amazing international speaker, right? Coach, mentor, understands exactly what I'm talking about. You guys should follow her. And Andrea, entrepreneurs cannot operate with an employee mentality. It's really interesting, Andrea, you get this, right? Like, one of the things that happens that creates a disruption for us in terms of our value is that when we have jobs that have a said dollar amount for the job, as individuals, we never come to understand what our value is. Okay. And that's one of the things that I help my clients to create shifts around. I give them formulas on how to establish what their value is, because people aren't paying you for your time. People are paying you for the results that you create. And ultimately, your value is steeped in the results that you're able to create, the transformation that you can create for others. Really important. Okay. Or maybe you're this person that you've been told that work hard. If you work harder, you'll be worth more, but it's not true. The truth of the matter is that wealthy people understand this one thing, that leverage is your superpower. And if you aren't building your business and your life around leverage, then I can tell you for sure that you are not standing in your value. I hope this is supporting someone. If this is supporting you, right, this is supporting me at number two. We're talking tonight about you get what you negotiate. And the second thing that I want to talk about as it relates to you getting what you negotiate is your offerings. So let me explain this, okay? So whether you offer service or whether you offer a product, one of the easiest ways for you not to be able to stand in your value or negotiate the highest level is because of the packages that you're putting together for the services, the core services that you're providing. I see this all the time. So I'll tell you what it looks like. One of my clients who's done amazingly well started with me maybe almost 3 years ago. And when she came to me, she was charging about $97 for a whole year for a membership site to coach her clients. So despite the fact that she creates amazing results, despite the fact that she created the result that she creates for other people for herself first, and she could transfer that result to other people over and over again. And there was evidence of it. She was undervaluing her product, her offering, her services, and she was charging $97 per client for them to have access to her for a year. Now, one of the biggest issues is that you get what you negotiate. So imagine that someone's working with you for a long period of time. It could be 3 months for you, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and you've undervalued what it is that you're giving the client. Now, there's a real reason why we, in our offerings, undervalue what we're doing. And there are a couple things. Number one is because of our own esteem. See, a lot of times when we are entrepreneurs or we're newer at what we do, we want validation. We want to know if what we do creates results for people, and we want to hear this feedback, and we have this long runway for what that looks like. even though you can see that you're creating results over and over and over again in in the lives of the people that you serve, you still want this proof. You want this validation. You think that just like your job, you've got to work your way up. But in business, it's not the same way. The truth of the matter is you can move a lot quicker, right, to the next level of investment with you, right, with a client, or even raise your prices when there is evidence that what you do creates amazing results. I am bringing it today. I'm just breaking this down. So you get what you negotiate in terms of your offerings. If your offerings are discounted, or they're low, or they're free, or every single time there's someone that has a challenge with you, or maybe it's someone that says, I really want your product or your service, but I got one problem, the price. Like, let's say you were selling something for 10 grand and they said, it's the price. I really want it. I love it. I love you. I can see you can deliver the results, but can I have this for $2,500? Because I just can't afford it. See, one of the things that's happening here is that you either sell the client on a yes, or they're selling you on a no. Does this make sense? Okay. And so the moment that you don't understand what your value is and you discount your value because you don't understand it in your core offerings, then your dream of sending your kids to private school, that doesn't happen. Your idea of building a business that's time rich, that allows you to have freedom, financial security, and freedom, that doesn't happen. Because the truth of the matter is your offerings, the only reason you're offering what you're offering is because it delivers value. Does it make sense? And that people are paying you based on your transformation. They're paying you based on your gifts and your talents, and how, if they invest with you, how it can create some significant change in their life and their world. And if you don't understand that, then you get what you negotiate. Okay. It is the reason why most prices are too low. It is the reason why people are underselling what they're doing. It's the reason why so many people take their great ideas, put them in a membership site, and discount them, because so many people have told you, look, just sell it for low ticket for a period of time. You'll build an audience, and poof. And it never happened. A lot of you guys have done it. I've worked with a lot of people who've come to me who that's how they got started. Or maybe, just maybe, you've been told that what you need to do is you need to do a beta test of some sort. You need to do a beta. And if I tell you the number of people tell me they need to do a beta, I can scream about it, right? They're like, I'm going to beta test what I'm doing. I'm like, well, what part are you beta testing? Are you beta testing the fact that you've been in your career for 20 years and you created this result for the corporation for 1,000,000 years? Or are you beta testing the fact that you got a PhD, a JD, an MD, a ... whatever. What are you beta testing? You already have the experience. You already have the credibility, but you got to own it. And so many people don't, because, again, of that validation factor. I hope that this is supporting you. Candy says, wow. I think that's how you said it. And Andrea says, absolutely no discounting. The investment is the investment. Absolutely. So well said. And then someone on Facebook writes, you're either selling the client on a yes, or the client is selling you on a no. Okay. And then Maria says, I keep hearing about beta testing. Sigh. There are lots of reasons to do beta tests. But the reality is that I don't teach my clients to do beta tests. I only work with people who can create results for others. They may not know how to package their knowledge into a product or service, but I show them how to do that. And I show them how to stand in their offering. I was on a coaching call the other day. I had a client who had a really great opportunity in front of her. And she said, I know that they're really interested, and I have a follow-up call, but the only challenge I have is that I don't know if they want to pay my price. And it was interesting because a lot of times when we don't know how to negotiate, we think the first point of contention for the client is the price, and it might not be the price. It might be terms. It could be something else. Number 3, okay? You get what you negotiate. That's as it relates to relationships. Okay, all right. So relationships. So I see this a lot, that people settle as it relates to relationships. So imagine that you are on a trajectory to do great things. You think outside of the box. You're beyond being average in your thinking, in your doing, and how you show up for the world and what you want for yourself. But imagine that as it relates to your relationships, you accept being in relationships with people, friends, associates, whatever, who won't give you the space, don't give you the space and freedom to be all of who you are. And I want you to know that you get that. You've negotiated that for yourself. You have the opportunity at any time to change that. Now, this is how I've always changed it for myself, is that it's the reason that I am an investor at a high level myself in communities so that I can be surrounded by people my own ambition level and above. And I talk about this a lot on my lives because there are a lot of people who make investments to be in community with people who are jealous, right? Who are talking about dominating other people. And I can tell you this, that if the messenger is talking about dominating others, they're also talking about dominating you, okay? I want you to understand this, and this is my philosophy, is that I like to be in the company, I'll talk about this a little bit more in a minute, in the company of mentors, speakers, teachers and coaches who want me to exceed them. See, to me, a great relationship is being in relationship with people who don't put caps on my ability, who don't put caps on what it is that I say that I want to do. Now, I'm an out of the box kind of girl, okay? And so I have an appetite to be around people who I call giants. And they're people who can celebrate with me, pull for me, whether or not they've got something going on or not. And I don't know if you have this in your world or not, but it's the reason why the majority of communities for me did not fit and won't fit, right? 100%. Because a lot of people are cool with you. I'll use those words. They're cool with you until you exceed them. And I want you to know that you get what you negotiate. If you decide to be in communities with people where you can't speak your truth, be the highest version of yourself, celebrate the giant that's inside of you, speak the vision that you see before you manifest it, then the reason you don't have that is because you have not required that for yourself, likely because you have not strategically invested in that part of your life, in your world, understanding that you deserve it. Are we clear? Okay. And I wanted to break this down in terms of you get what you negotiate, because I hear so many women that say, Mia, what, I haven't had this in my world, but I want you to understand that this is something that is available to you. It's always been available to you, but it's not something that you've accessed because you haven't made it a requirement for yourself. You get what you negotiate. Laura writes, suffering from the foot on my neck syndrome. You've had enough, right? Like, absolutely. And Candy says, clear. I love it, Candy, and beautiful self. And Lori says, I already said that. And then there's a Facebook user said, edify one another and you'll be uplifted. Absolutely. So I know this to be true. It's a requirement that I have. The people who are in my world, who I have intimate time with, are people who celebrate the vision. They are cheerleaders for me and I'm cheerleaders for them. And that what I'm talking about is not being challenged with, is this real? Is this possible? But how can I support you in making this vision happen? And I want you to know you deserve it. If you don't have this yet, you've negotiated that. You've decided that those are kind of relationships that are okay for you. And when you decide that that is not where you want to be, you can change the dynamic. Number 4, you get what you negotiate as it relates to your mentors. Okay. And I want you to lean in here. Okay. One of the things that I learned for myself was, like, not all mentors are the same. And that's whether you call a mentor a coach, a teacher, a trainer, a consultant, doesn't matter to me. But what I've learned is not all mentors are the same. That there are some people who will literally pull back the curtains. They will literally pull back the layers and they will show you what they're doing. Okay. And there are other people who will show you a percentage of what they're doing. Okay. And it's the reason why so many people aren't able to create results and success, because they don't truly know what the mentors, their teachers, and their coaches are doing. That's one thing. The other thing is making sure that the people who are teaching you that what good looks like for them, what success is for them, that's the kind of success that you desire. You get what you negotiate. I'm always surprised by the number of people who decide they want to be free. They want to be full-time entrepreneurs. And yet the people they decide to mentor with are not free. They don't live a freedom-based lifestyle. Okay. I'm just saying, one of the things that was super important to me, I've worked with the same coach for 17 years, is if you were not free, you couldn't teach me. And I've been that way 100% the entire time in my coaching journey over the last 17 years. I've had several mentor teachers who've coached me on many different things. I have one main mentor in my life. And if you're not free, you can't teach me. Why? Is because I wanted freedom more than anything. And I did not want someone to talk to me about the hypothetical pieces of being free. I wanted someone to show me how to structure a business so that when I got free, I could stay free. And I've done that. I've been a full-time entrepreneur over the last 16 years, 17 years, practically as an entrepreneur. And I've gotten free and I've stayed free 100%. That is so important. And I think that it's not something we talk about a lot. It's kind of like taboo because people fall in love with a dream. They fall in love with a pretty dress. They fall in love with the custom suit. They fall in love with fancy words. But at the end of the day, those words aren't going to get you free. Okay. It is watching the lifestyle. One of the things that I realized for myself was so important was the things that I valued. I wanted to make sure the people that mentored me valued those same things. Faith is very important to me. Number one, family, super important to me. Okay. Number two, and freedom was super important to me. All right. And lifestyle. And so every mentor that I've ever worked with has had those elements. And if they didn't have those elements, I did not want to work with them. There was no reason for me to work with them because I didn't want that. I remember I was at a live event and there was a speaker speaking. And one of the things that she said was that she was on the road for it was more than half of the year, living her dream. And I believe it was her dream. And I think it's amazing, but that wasn't my dream. And I knew in that moment, no matter what it is that she did, she couldn't teach me because I did not want to be on the road for more than half the year. See, I wanted to build a business that allowed me to show up in my children's school, to be that mom that picked them up at the end of the day and find out how their day was going, to be the first hug for them, to be, sending them off to school. And then at the end of the day, I wanted to be able to date my husband in the middle of the day. That was me, okay? And is me, all right? And so I wanted mentors, teachers, and coaches who had lifestyle that I could see that that's how they were living. I didn't want a mentor or coach necessarily that had a Lamborghini or material things in that way. Important. I wanted true lifestyle because even if I could get a Lamborghini, I wouldn't even drive. I drive like a grandmom, guys. Listen, I drive a minivan. I drive like a grandmom. Okay. So I wasn't looking for that. Okay. I wanted something that was real, something that was substantial. And I'm so grateful that I had my priorities in order. You get what you negotiate. I'm just breaking this down. For those of you who've been looking for teachers, coaches, and mentors, do you truly want to work with somebody that reaches out to you in your inbox because they're watching me on this live right now saying, oh, let me just target me as clients, people who like her lives? That's a person without integrity. Okay. So you got to be discerning about what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. Number 5. Okay. Your structure for how you work. See, I think one of the things that people don't realize that is totally available to them is that you can build a business structure around your life. Okay. You can build a business around your life. And most people build their life around their business. But one of the things that was really important to me was that I built a business around my life. I didn't want to wake up in the morning and that my business drove every single thing in my life. Instead, I wanted my life to drive everything, right, in my business. And there's a difference. And so I decided to build a business that I coined the term time rich, right? And what it means is that I don't trade time for dollars in my business, that people pay me for my knowledge. And that means that if it's 10 minutes or if it's a half an hour or an hour, it doesn't matter. It's as a result of what I share, what I know how to do, helping people take their ideas and package it into a high ticket product, that can be really transformational for someone that's selling what they have for $150 an hour or $350 an hour or $500 an hour or whatever it looks like. People don't pay me based on my time. They pay me based on my results, and they'll pay you the same. See, you get what you negotiate, and that's the structure for how you work. If I think about it today, I have 2 coaching calls each and every week, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and that's it. Roughly about 6-hour commitment to work. And I have one other 1-hour call a month. Okay. That's it. And that's my work. Okay. I've built an amazing business. Hey, Rhonda, beautiful Rhonda, working from the comfort of my home that's built on time freedom models. What I teach my clients how to do, no matter what their business is how to take the models that they have and how to find more time to live versus working. And if you don't know how to do that, know that that is called how to build a business based on leverage. And you need to learn how to do that because it makes all the difference in business. I'm going to read a couple comments. Someone says, pull back the layers, full transparency to how you do what you do. Yeah, absolutely. There's a Facebook user that writes free indeed. Okay. And then someone says stuff, not life. Right. Okay. Okay. And then Andrea says, not the shiny object lifestyle. Isn't that funny? Right. People are into this so shiny object piece. But it's not real at the end of the day, okay? And you got to understand that a lot of times when people build a lifestyle around those kinds of things, that becomes the job for them. And there's no freedom in that. There's no freedom in not operating in truth. Does it make sense? Can you imagine me buying a car that I thought would impress you, but it's not even a car I want to drive? Or that I have to work said number of hours in order for me to make sure that I can impress you with this car. It's called bondage in a different level. So sometimes people replace their job with these kinds of expectations. And I want to tell you that life is so much bigger than that. There is this amazing living that's available to you to operate from the fullest. And I just wanted to break this down today so that this would add value. And then Rhonda, beautiful Rhonda, the author of Warrior Mom, you guys need to check it out. Rhonda knows how to help clients get scholarships. I mean, they're her clients, scholarships for college. Okay, we all need that, right? So, okay, make sure you follow her. All right, number 7, you get what you negotiate. Who you work with. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Okay. I want you to get this. Okay. All right. You get what you negotiate. That means that the people you've chosen to work with. So let's say this is for those of you right now who maybe are working with people and you're like, I don't want to work with these people. And we all have them, right? I'm pretty good at vetting clients, but we all create, sometimes you get people you don't want to work with. However, if the majority of your clients are people who are not investors, who don't value the investment, who are difficult to work with, you get what you negotiate. And I want you to understand that at any time you have the opportunity to renegotiate that. That means change your client avatar, change the way you're marketing, change your language in your marketing so that you attract a different audience. The only way you're going to do that is to work on yourself, okay? Because your client base is in some way a reflection of you. Okay, in majority, I'm talking about, right? So if you note that the majority of your clients are not investors, if you note that the majority of your clients don't pay you on time, if you notice that the majority of your clients, can't get to that next level, don't understand how to value the investment that they're getting, aren't action takers, don't do the work, aren't implementers, all of that. Okay, you get what you negotiate, and you have the opportunity at any time to change what your demographics look like. I see people when they come to me who are so frustrated because they didn't understand that they had the power all along, like Dorothy, right, from The Wizard of Oz, to renegotiate their market, to change their audience. I'll tell you a story. Years ago, many years ago, I was working with a group of clients and they were really difficult. They were all really smart people, but they were really difficult, smart people. And I decided I deserved more than that. And I decided that my other clients deserved more than that, that I wanted to surround my clients in a community with people who were their own ambition level above, who were go-givers, who were action takers, who were nice people, kind people, who would help one another, okay, who didn't tear people down, who built folks up. And I want to challenge you around that, right? If you haven't created that for yourself, or you know that, man, I thought this was going to be more powerful than it is for those of you who have online communities or communities at all, now is your opportunity to change how you're negotiating with that. What's acceptable in your communities, what's not acceptable in your communities, et cetera. The kind of client avatar that you decide you want to work with. That is up to you. And the only reason you're working with clients, let's say, who won't invest more than $500 a product or $1,000 a product or $5,000 a product or whatever it looks like or more, is because that's who you've decided to negotiate with. The moment that you understand your value, your established value and you stand in it. And you say, I'm no longer working with clients who don't want to invest in the full solution, right? That you provide, right? The transformation that you provide. I'm only going to work with people who invest in results, invest in transformation, people who really want to do the work. You will find those people. So the only reason you're not profitable in your business right now is because of what you've decided is acceptable. And I hope that this helps you. I know that it shakes the shoulders of some of you who are here, like me. For the longest time, I've been working with these people who won't ascend with me, is because you won't ascend without them. Okay. But the moment that you decide to move forward, okay, in different ways, is what I teach my clients: how to price to fully value your transformation, and how to market to get directly in front of your audience. It's really important to know how to do, how to attract buyers. Okay. Not people who want things for free forever. All right. Come on. Number 1, 2, 3. Okay. I think this is number 7. Okay. You get what you negotiate. Okay, and that's in regards to your possibilities. And this is really important, because the truth of the matter is that a lot of times what's available to us in terms of the possibilities of what we can do with our gifts and our talents, whether it's like you want to do a corporate deal, or whether it's that you want a best-selling book, or whether you want to be a high-paid speaker, whatever it is, or whether it is that you want to do something internationally, whatever, right? But a lot of times what gets in the way is that what we negotiate with, what we dance with, is believing that there's some kind of ascension ladder for us to get to where we want to be, or believing that we're not quite ready to be where we want to be, right? Or believing that we're not good enough to be where we could be right now. And I will tell you that this is so true. When I wrote my very first book, I pitched right away to a Fortune 100 company. It was Panera Bread. And I closed my first corporate deal. Like I was a brand new author. And, if I had the belief that back then that I needed to sell like 1 million books before I could do this, or I needed to be a household name before I could do this, I wouldn't have stepped into my next level. And it's something that I teach clients about. And I don't just talk about things from a hypothetical perspective. I talk about them because it's how I live my life. When I think about the times I was signed to Emmy nominated, nationally syndicated television shows as paid talent, as the mom strategist, the fact of the matter is I decided that I was good enough, that I was ready right now. Like right now is good enough. And there's so many of you who are so incredible and sharp and amazing, but you won't pitch to TV because you're like, I need to do this one thing first. I need to have this credibility. I need to get this letter. You won't launch. You won't reach for that big client yet because you keep telling yourself you need that next thing. And I'm going to tell you, you get what you negotiate. I think it's one of the things that one of the reasons why mentorship is important, having the accountability, people who see you as you can be, reaching big, dreaming big, so that somebody holds you accountable to the things that you are capable of that scare you. There's something amazing about doing something big and huge and awesome and incredible, but then you've not done it before. So it scares you, right? When you want to do it, that's normal. All right. But imagine if you don't have, because you don't invest in a coach or mentor in some way that makes you own your truth, makes you own your brilliance, helps you to stand in your value, that calls you out when you don't want to stand for what the possibilities are in your life, in your world. I want you to hear me on this. All right. You get what you negotiate. If the contract is small, you said yes to it, right? Think about the story that I gave you in the beginning, right? Dennis had all the capacity. Not Dennis. What's his name? Rodman had What's his name? I lost my train of thought. Wasn't Dennis? Scotty. Scotty had all of the talent, right? I mean, he had the talent. He had the goods, right? Like if Michael wasn't on his team, he would have been the number one guy. But he didn't have the faith in himself. He didn't have the right advice. He didn't have the right mentor. He didn't have somebody that called him out and said, you're bigger than, $23 million in 7 years. Bet on you. And I am just saying it. That's why I wanted to come here today and say, listen, I want you to bet on you. You can do this, all right? And that there are possibilities that are available to you that are just absolutely incredible. I see it all the time working with women who stand in their value. That's what I have for you today. If this resonated with you in any way, I'm so glad. I would love to hear your ahas and your takeaways. And equally, I want to invite you to join me March 1st through 5th for the Giant Experience Conference. It's pretty amazing, if I say so myself. It is my signature event. It's held virtually, and it runs about 2 hours a night from March 1st to 5th. You get a curriculum that teaches you how to package your knowledge into a high ticket offering. I show you step by step how to price the value of transformation. So you show you how to position yourself in the marketplace differently as the obvious choice. I show you how to find buyers, investors, people who want to work with you. And I show you how to shift your mindset around what your capacity is to begin with over the course of 5 days. It's incredible. The results are amazing. And when I sign off here, I'll post a link to the actual page for the event so you guys take a peek at some of the results my clients have created. I can't say that you create those results, but a lot of them create a lot of results from that event. And it's because they're action takers. They do the work. They do what they need to do, and they're ready to change your lives. And nothing happens if you're not ready. You can have the most amazing coach, teacher, trainer, but if you don't listen to the modules and do the training, nothing happens. But if you're ready and you've been saying, I'm ready to change my life, I can tell you for sure, come to the event. What's really cool is that you don't already have to have a product, because you are the product. Know that, okay? And that if you come for 7 days, and you're like, this was not for me, and you want your money back, I'll give you your money back. No questions asked. We've had over 100 women come the last couple of months. We've only given back 2 their money. And then one was, she just couldn't come to the event. And the other, she just wasn't the right time. So that's that, okay? So I want to open the floor now for your ahas and your takeaways. And I'll take just a few questions, right? Because I hope that you got tremendous value being here tonight. And that was my goal, is to shift you. You're in my community, all right, 100%. I've already addressed that. I did a live recently, I think it was 3 days ago. And then somebody inboxed me and said that somebody inboxed them and said, was trying to sell to them, right? Because they were on my live. And you already know what that is. If somebody does that, you already know. If you decide to say yes to somebody that operates like that, you get what you negotiate, okay? All right, for yourself. So I always want to make sure my people are protected and informed. All right, so, okay. Candy says, you're hitting me all upside my head tonight, Mia. Okay, was I? I hope it was like a gentle cushion, right? Like, just like soft, right? But it's good, right? It's all in love. And the only reason it resonates is because, you know, it's something that your capacity is saying, yeah, there's more for me. There's more for me. Your beautiful self. Okay. And then Deshaun said, hey, Deshaun, I'm glad you're here. Can you speak about the book you pitched to them and why they purchased, please? Yeah. Hey, Deshaun. So I wrote my very first book. It's based on my story around self-care systems. And I aligned my pitch with their audience. I actually did 2 deals with Panera Bread. The first deal is they hired me to speak in many of their locations and gave away my books to their clients. I was Panera Bread's first human reward. This is kind of funny. You know how Panera Bread now, if you go to the store, there's a Panera Bread card, and they have use food rewards, right? But when that card first came out, I was a human reward. And so we did it in about 700,000 women, mostly moms, in the Maryland, Washington, Virginia area. We did a partnership with that demographic. Then I did a second partnership with them around my Time for Mommy groups, which we've hosted, you know, hundreds of those throughout the country. I've done that in partnership with many Fortune 100, 500 brands. So I hope that answered your question. And then someone from Facebook says, okay, say it. I decided today I'm going back to my radio pitch Ready? Okay. Are you ready? Okay. Are we ready? I don't know who this is. Okay. You have to write your name if you're on Facebook because I can't see your name. Okay. And then Lori says, thank you. You are so welcome. And thank you for being here today. What are your ahas? What are your takeaways as a result of being here today? And that's the question on the floor. Candy writes, how do you surround yourself with mentors and not feel like you are using them? You make an investment. Okay. So you're not using them, right? Because my clients, I mentor them and they invest to learn what I know. Okay. So, and they value what I know. And that's why they make an investment. So that's how. Okay. And if you want to make sure that your mentors are available to you, then you make an investment with them. Laura writes, I have my annual performance evaluation tomorrow morning, and this feels like the universe giving me a sign that I need to stop letting them minimize my value after 14 years of service, stepping out using my knowledge. Okay, awesome. I'm so glad. Monica writes, hey, I hit the button, but not working, I guess. Yeah, okay, I'm so glad you're here. Deshaun says, thank you. Are there any other ahas, any other takeaways as a result of being here tonight? I wanted to do a live to talk about you get what you negotiate 100%. I know that this supported you. Every single thing that I shared here is what I do myself. And so when I come on these lives, I love to share from my heart what I'm doing. And if there's something that I said that supports you in some way, great. Use what works and what doesn't work, chuck it to the side. Use your own discernment right around that. Okay. And Tiffany writes, hey, Tiffany, I love that head lean on that photo. My takeaway, if you're not free, you can't teach me. Love it. It's so true. Isn't it true? And I'm always surprised that people will allow people who aren't free teach them. Okay, like, why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, and Deshaun says, do you work with men? I do, but only as private clients, not in my group coaching form. So if there's interest, you can go to miaredrick.com, or you can even come, Deshaun, to my conference, the Giant Experience Conference. Guys can come to that. You'd be the first, but guys could come to that. Okay. Lori says, negotiating has always been a struggle for me. This is a great start. You know what, Lori, up until now, right? Use that language, right? Up until now, negotiating has always been a struggle for you, okay? Because you're changing, you're growing, right? And Candy writes, Candy winning. I like it. My takeaway, I won't escalate without them, right? I won't escalate, right? Without them. All right, Candy. Are there any other ahas or takeaways? It's a full call tonight. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And, and I hope that in some way this really supported you. Lori says, yes, absolutely. So I'm going to post a link here when I'm done for the conference, the Giant Experience Conference. And my only goal, let me see if I can grab it now. I'll grab it at the end and I'll post it here. So just come back to the page, take a look. Look at some of the testimonials, listen to them, and see if those are the kind of people you want to hang out with, right? And that you have the opportunity to, to show up like they did, right? Like they just trusted themselves enough. Monica Pendle writes, I'm freer than ever before. Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah, I'm freer than ever before. I think about this all the time because I thought I was free in my business, and now I'm even freer than I was. Who knew? Okay. And then Rhonda Copeland. Rhonda, there she is with her book, Warrior Mom. Make sure you guys follow her. A colleague reached out to me who read my book. He put me in touch with someone from a large school district to purchase my book and speak to parents who are struggling with helping their children. Yes. With scholarships for enrichment programs in science, engineering, college, from elementary through college. I'm so excited for the possibilities. Mia, thank you for your guidance and your mentorship. Yes. And so come on the call tomorrow at 2:00 if you can. Our community call in life and business success, right? And we can talk a little bit more about a couple of clients. I've had 2 clients do corporate partnerships with school districts. So this would be a great time for us to talk about that and how you can leverage what you're doing in some different ways, even to be able to do that. All right. I'm really excited for you just the beginning, your topic is such a high value topic, right? It's what people need, scholarships. Are you kidding? And you've done it and you've got the proof, right? So I love it. Make sure you guys follow her, okay? And I think this is Monica says, thank you always for the accountability. You're welcome always for the accountability. All right. So last call. Any final comments? Any final questions? Anything? Okay. Any final comments? Any final questions? All right. I will post the link for the Giant Experience Conference. And Monica writes, congrats, Rhonda Copeland. How cool is that? Maybe what I'll do, let me see if I can grab this real quick. I don't know if I can. So let me see if I can do this. And if I can do it quickly, I will show you. And you guys just hang in there. Okay. I think I can do it. 1 second. So I love this. I love technology, right? Isn't it awesome? Right. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do right now on StreamYard for you guys, you're welcome, right? So what I'm going to do is, I think this is going to work. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And I'm going to share my screen to show you what I want to show you, which is there you go. So this is the event. It's called the Giant Experience for smart, sharp, entrepreneurial women, but men can come. It's okay. It's the March 1st through the 5th. We always sell out. The tickets are $15.97. Well worth it. This is a testimonial page. And so this just shows you in general some of the results that my clients have created that have attended the event. You'll learn more by coming to the event. Some of you guys have already seen some of the results that my clients have created in a relatively short period of time. Again, I cannot say that this will be your experience, but I can say that this was their experience. And you can listen for yourself to hear what they've said about their experience working with me, okay? The structure of the event is very, very, very simple, okay? You can simply go to the agenda page, okay, which is right here at the top. And when you go there, we lay it out. You've got an agenda booklet that breaks down for you how the days are divided. Here's the primary focus of the conference. The first day, I answer questions around packaging your services at the highest level. That means that you're selling what you have for $2,500 or more. On Tuesday, I show you how to price your transformation. I answer questions related to that. And you already get training that teaches you my process for doing that. I show you how to position yourself in the market as the obvious choice, how to find buyers in any market, and how to sell at any level. The coolest part is, let me show you this, is that when you register, and this is what the registration page looks like, we break down for you, the modules. And I teach you how to leverage your knowledge, right? How to take your knowledge, your background, and your gifts and package it into a high ticket offering. I also have one of my attorneys who's a IP attorney that teaches you how to protect your knowledge. And then I also have a Facebook and LinkedIn expert teach you how to market using Facebook and LinkedIn ads. One of my clients who's a television producer, former television producer, teaches you how to pitch better brand stories. It's pretty phenomenal if I say so myself. And then I teach you how to sell and how to attract buyers and how to close during the sales process. So pretty comprehensive weekend. 7 days in all, right? The sooner you sign up, the more time you have to access the event. We actually give you access to the content 7 days in advance, just so you know, right? Even though it starts on March 1st, we open up the content a week before. You get an implementation and accountability guide, so you know what to do. And then I like clients to move. So you get my belly dancing, Zumba, and yoga session, so you can move and groove with us all week. However, I come live for 5 days, Monday through Friday, from 8 o'clock typically to about 10 o'clock each day. And I answer questions very specific to the training you've gotten. You get access to a private Facebook community. You get a daily watch party. And as if this was not enough, I give you a fast action bonus, and that's the course, How to Build a Six-Figure Business from Home with What You Know. So the course in and of itself sells for $9.97, but I make it a bonus. But if you add together the value of everything from the week that I give you, The total value is about $50,288. So you save like $48,691. So your price is only $15.97. It's a no-brainer. And if you come to the event and you feel like you didn't get any value, I'll give you all your money back. No questions asked. Okay. So that's it. It's pretty straightforward in terms of that. Okay. I wanted to make that super clear. Let me, I'll post a link here for you guys to see now. And let's see here. And early access, Deshaun says, it's amazing, like amazing. So you actually get like 2 weeks to have the content, to do the content, right? Monica, she says, I'm Monica Koch, right? You're new to your group. Awesome. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Most of my clients that have come to the experience have just said they've never seen any value like that provided before. Most clients have said $2,500 to $7,500 is what they would pay for the experience. Okay. So with that, I'm done. I want to thank you for your time. I love you guys. There is another comment. Let me see here. And Lori says, thank you. See you soon. And Maria says, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Have a great and amazing night.